It is day 3 of our Colorado adventure. Today we are actually in between Poughkeepsie Gulch and the Engineer Pass. We are on the Alpine Loop here. All these cool waterfalls and stuff. It is awesome. So yesterday we did Imogene Pass and Black Bear Pass, and today we're going to get the last pass, badge of honor, out of the way, which is Engineer Pass. So that's where we're at right now. So sit back and enjoy the Engineer Pass Alpine Loop that we're doing today. Alright, so a lot of this footage is going to be from my dash cam here on my GoPro. We didn't have a lot of chances to get out and like record anything besides when we stopped for some sightseeing stuff. Here soon, here you see a old mine project here. Alpine Loop had a bunch of old mining towns and old mining settlements. Pretty cool little area. The Alpine Loop had a lot of history on it, which was very cool, so that was nice to see. But like I said, so there's not a lot of getting out and getting a lot of outside shots, so I'm gonna do a little voiceover here to kind of explain what we're going on here. So we're heading towards the juncture from Alpine Loop to Engineer Pass. The Engineer Pass, it's kind of like an offshoot on the Alpine Loop. So we head up this way and we're getting ready to head to a old town, mining town, here in a second. So this is going to be our first big stop here for the day. This is going to be an overlook, looking over a old mining town. It was called Mineral Point. Mineral Point was settled in 1875. By 1880, it had over 200 people that resided in Mineral Point. It was a very cool looking place. It had a lot of old buildings still standing and stuff like that. So after you go past Mineral Point, you can either keep going straight and go all around the loop, or you can go up the mountain to go over to the Engineer Pass, which is this right here. We're turning on up to Engineer Pass and heading up towards Engineer Pass, which the elevation on Engineer Pass was 12,800 feet. So we're going from 11,000 feet to 12,800 feet to climb to Engineer Pass. So right here, we have made it all the way to the top of Engineer Pass, getting ready to go back down into, head back towards the Alpine Loop. Here is the sign for Engineer Pass. Like I said, it was 12,800 feet elevation at that point, and then you go down into this valley right here and head on back down towards the Alpine Loop, and you meet back up with the Alpine Loop. So that's where we're going now. We're bombing down this dirt road to go back towards the Alpine Loop. You can see here these little sticks. If you can see, they actually ride snowmobiles up here in the wintertime, and the snow gets so high, that's how they can see the trail by the markings by that. So that's pretty cool. Elevation here going down. You can't see it in the video, but actually you can kind of see it in the video. If you look off to your right there's a kind of a black dot kind of sitting down there. That's a UTV. Somebody had rolled their UTV down the mountain there, which was crazy. We couldn't tell what it was at first, but then we kind of, once you get further down, you can see what it was, but it was a UTV. Somebody had rolled a UTV all the way down that mountain. So that was pretty crazy. While we were out there in Colorado, there was a couple of wrecks that ended up happening. So people think that these trails are easy, which they are easy, but you still have to watch. Like right here, you can see there's not a lot of room. There's the room for passing if people get over, but you got to watch what you're doing around here. Now coming up here, we're going to actually get into some of the more abandoned buildings. There's actually a town right here that was abandoned, or an old mining town. They had a bunch of signage around that you could see of a incident that happened. They called it the White Death. They had a massive blizzard, and it killed a lot of people up in the mining towns, because these are so remote. Mining towns back in the day, even now they're still remote areas. So it was called I think this area was called the Bonanza Empire. Chief, if I can remember correctly. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but it was called, a lot of it was abandoned after they had the White Death. Hundreds of people had died because of the Arctic cold and the snow, and not being able to get supplies in and out because of these so remote. These towns were so remote in the mountains. I mean, you can see. I mean, this road is huge now, but I guarantee you, back in the day, there's no way. I mean, they were miles and miles and miles away from any sort of town.
All right, everybody, we are back home from the trip. We just drove 1,400 miles back to Kentucky. Thought I'd give you a little damage report on the Jeep and just tell you how everything went. So last day we did Engineer Pass and we're supposed to do Alpine Loop, but our trail guy got kind of sick or whatever. So we did Engineer Pass and kind of called it there, and we ended up having to drive like 2 hours out of the way back because we were on the other side of the mountain, around the mountain, back to our cabin. So that pretty much ended the whole day. We ended up going to Ouray that night, and I'll put a video of it here of us going to Ouray. And then after that, we had dinner there and stuff. It was pretty nice. So after that, we were supposed to, the next day was like a Scenic day, but we'd already been out there for about 4 or 5 days. And I wanted to get home and get back, you know, have some time to decompress. So we ended up leaving that next day and heading back home, and took us a day and a half to drive back. But we drove back. The Jeep now has 200,000 miles on it, so that's good. But got over the 200,000 mile mark on this 2010. So just putting on the miles. So other than the bugs destroying the Jeep, like bad, I don't know if you actually see or not. I got a crack in the windshield. That was bad. And then I just noticed this. So we've been back for like a week now. I put it right in the garage. Took all the stuff out of it. I'm finally getting around to cleaning it. But so one problem we have is this piece, this end cap for this anti-rock is gone because this thing is loose, because the bolt that is actually right above the sway bar came loose somehow. You can tell, I don't know if you can tell or not, but the first day it was really rattly, and I thought it was maybe the inner fenders contacting or jiggling around, but it ended up being the sway bar loose. So tightened it up, came untightened, so I'll have to fix that. Hopefully it didn't break off inside, but you know, that's one of the things that we saw. The transmission, you know, this is a 2010, so it's got 3.8, and it's already got the, I don't even know what it is, transmission, the crappy one, I'll just say that. I mean, it probably downshifted about 1,000 times between there and here. Even putting 538s in it, and with the 37s now, still doesn't really like to do hills very well. So in the future, we're gonna have to do something about that. Either ATS is coming out with an 8-speed swap for the 3.8, or maybe a Hemi or an LS with maybe an 8-speed, I don't know. But if I want to do any more traveling stuff like this, it's gonna have to have some kind of better transmission or something, because you can't even cruise down the interstate at flat land very fast. So the best thing to do would be get a truck and a trailer, and then I wouldn't have to worry about it, and I could just do whatever. But you know, maybe one day. But as of now, I haven't really actually looked at it very much, but as of now, that's the only issue we had the whole trip. Didn't overheat. I don't know what the trans temps were because I didn't have a monitor on it, but that's pretty much it. I did notice this. I guess it's contacting my, at full lock, it's contacting the frame, which I don't really understand that, because the 35s didn't do that, or maybe they did, I don't know. I don't know. But looks like we'll have to fix the sway bar, and we'll have to nut and bolt it again for the next time out, but won't be going out for a while. I got a wedding to go to next weekend, my sister's wedding, so I won't be going to that. I was gonna guide for the Back to Byway event for the fall ride, but my sister's wedding is next week, so that didn't happen. But yeah, well, let's get this thing, I'll get this thing cleaned off here, and we'll go from there. So let's get this thing cleaned off. Alrighty, so got her as clean as I could. Pressure washer ran out of gas. I need to get some more cleaning stuff, materials, but I got most of the bugs off the front there, so that's the most important part. It needs a paint job, bad. Or it needs to be tried to get like the paint restored or whatever, like paint restore or whatever they call it. I can't remember. I can't think of the thing right now. But like, I got this thing going on right here, where it's like gas or something, and I can't get it off. So I need somebody to come in here and give it a paint. Give the paint some love. The hood is bad because I painted that myself, and try to fix it. And these fenders are garbage too, as you can see right there. I want to get new fenders anyways, but that's more money down the line. But it's cleaned off. What I'm gonna do is roll it right back in the garage, and been driving the old Grand Cherokee around, so. But yeah, so that's it for this one. Thanks if you watched the whole series for the Colorado series, and you made it this far into my video. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't know what's gonna be next, but we'll just keep on making content for you guys, So thanks for watching. If you haven't and you made it this far, hit that subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a comment, do all those YouTube things. And we'll see you in the next video, wherever it might be. Thanks for watching.